this season.
Love to have the former SMU Mustangs pony up. Just got to put that out in the world. Roll Stangs.
New ball, game 1. Time in. 0-0.
Hunter Johnson will kick us off with first serve.
Point.
Into the net goes Federico Staksrud, so Hunter will welcome the opening point.
1-0. Find out.
So cat and mouse was a conversation for us in the opening match with Emily Waters. Love to get your thoughts here in men's and how this game has shifted lately. Wide for Hunter.
Yeah, I think with the cat and mouse, you think of, Ben Johnson and Staksrud, I'd say maybe a year and a half ago, there used to be a lot of cat and mouse, and there still is whenever they face off, but I think you look at kind of players who are a little bit newer to that high level of success, Kwang Duong, for example, you're not going to get a lot of cat and mouse from him, right? So it's really kind of that first strike pickleball. That's what Grayson Golden called it when he beat Jack Sock a few weeks ago. So really just looking to finish points instead of finish points from further back in the court with just those big tennis swings instead of kind of outsmarting your opponent in the kitchen line.
Kwang's father spoke about that too, and when Kwang joined the Texas Rangers, they didn't want them to train away his best asset. Ball's wide, but in making speed ups from places that other guys would never go for.
Clean backhand up the line there for Hunter Johnson.
Point.
Hunter Johnson gets the equalizer to tie it at 3 early.
Fight out. Three.
A wild forehand from Hunter Johnson. Staksrud can't believe he went for it.
That's the thing with so much spin that Johnson gets on his forehand especially, it's really hard to know if it's just going to barely land in. Staksrud the victim of that uncertainty there.
78% win percentage, too, on the side of Federico Staksrud. In his career, he's so committed to his craft. Another player that spends a lot of hours on the court training, mentally and physically. Represents his country, Argentina. Staksrud and Garnett in the final last weekend.
Fight out. Three.
Down the line and a beauty. We've seen that so many times from Fed Staksrud.
4-3.
And a pretty setup there for Hunter Johnson. And then those are the points where you see Hunter and you see greatness.
Just thought it was really good point construction there. Kind of went back behind Staksrud on the return. It looked like he was running to try and cover the backhand, but he went high and deep to the forehand on the return, and that kind of set him up to be ahead in that whole rally.
Point.
This is an important start for Hunter Johnson. Last week when they played, he did not have a strong start in game one, but to be even at this point when he's still kind of warming up, this should be very hopeful for him. And now even with a lead.
Side out. 4-5. Side out.
We've seen that two-handed backhand from Johnson a few times, just really able to dial that in early. He's finished a few points with that shot.
5-4.
He keeps having that success on that wing.
Point. Point.
That's another for Hunter Johnson. 65% win percentage, working his way up the ranks.
7-4.
Didn't really go on vacation. I just kept on trying to hone my craft, and it has certainly paid off.
Point.
Commentator's curse, maybe.
Yeah,
on the
that's all right. Out of the ballpark was that
9-4.
return from Fed Staksrud. That's a nice pass for Hunter Johnson.
Game point.
And a game point with it, 10-4. A stunning scoreline to start.
10-4. Side out.
Johnson knows he had Staksrud beat on that third. But now this is the tough part. Got to keep that lead for Johnson.
4-10. Side out. Game point.
Can't get a hold of it. Game point number 2 for Hunter Johnson.
10-4.
Hands on the paddle a lot in this
0-0.
match so far, but went with the flick there. Did not disappoint.
Side out. Zero, zero.
So out he goes down the line for Hunter Johnson. Just catching the sideline.
0-0. Side out.
And you see there on the third, Johnson opting to go more to the forehand of Staksrud, but he's able to be a lot more aggressive with that shot on the fourth ball. And so just wasn't really able to get back to neutral in that rally.
0-0. Side out.
Testing the forehand at every ball. Hunter Johnson got the ball back.
Zero, zero.
Fed goes inside out, missed it. Hunter Johnson on the board first here in game number 2.
1-0. Point.
Just blistering forehand there from Hunter Johnson. Just goes again to the backhand of Staksrud.
2-0. Third out call. Not clear for no return. I need a verbal on the out, please.
Quick thanks to our referee crew. Tony Jaden is our lead referee for this one. Trafina Moore, our second referee. And Drew DeHennis is tracking. Staksrud
1-2.
on the board. It's a nice shot by Hunter Johnson. He can hit the most improbable angles from anywhere on the court.
Just shots that make you shake your head. And
Point.
applaud your opponent like Staksrud did after that one.
That was swiftly cleaned up by Federico Staksrud once again to the forehand side. Dangerous place to go. He anticipates so well.
1-3.
It's deep. Back within one. And Hunter Johnson
2-3.
has had some marquee wins lately. He's taking out players like Dylan Frazier, Chris Hayworth, Pablo Tellez, Frazier twice. This would be a large one for him.
3-3. Light out. Three. Point. 4-3. Point.
Some love off the net there for Hunter Johnson as his lead increases to 2.
5-3. Light out. 3-5. Light out.
A nice pressure ball from Hunter Johnson, keeping Federico Staksrud deep beyond the baseline.
And you will see Federico, he does like to move and take that forehand on the third, but just with the pace and depth, like you said, Michelle, just that return, just wasn't really able to put his full weight into it.
Wow. And for somebody that anticipates so well, Hunter Johnson is really reading Federico's moves. Came right over to support her boyfriend, Hunter.
6-3.
It's a green flag in a relationship, for sure.
Oh, great point so far. Generous line call by Staksrud on the far side.
Almost had dueling ATPs on that point.
3-6. Light out.
Steve, going back to that relationship comment, I think we should do a new column called Green Flags
6-3.
with Will Doughton. You're welcome.
I'm ready for it.
On pickleball.com.
Light out.
When to know you need a partner change.
Of course.
Here's a green flag, here's a red flag.
Well, actually,
On and off the court, potentially. You've got a lot
Victoria
of room.
Radnothy, she has actually written quite a few articles about that and about the relationship side of pickleball and finding your mixed doubles partner for life. Highly recommend
That's
those
funny.
articles. She is amazing.
Light out.
It's all the stuff that I don't know how to talk about.
Side out for Hunter Johnson.
6-3.
30-point lead.
Light out.
He will stay stuck on 6 for now. Serve back to Staksrud. So if you're Hunter Johnson in this big of a moment with this big of an opportunity, you need 5 points to close out Staksrud. Would love to know what your mentality would be in his shoes.
3-6.
I think it's just got to be kind of keep on sticking with what's been working, and we saw they're just continually attacking the backhand of Staksrud. It's not a bad shot. He just doesn't really have as much offensive capability from that wing. So I expect a majority of the thirds to keep going to the backhand.
6-3.
Exactly to your point.
Maybe not. But I just think Staksrud, he just has a lot more variability with that forehand. He's able to, you know, put a lot of pace behind it, or kind of go inside out like he did there and put a little more spin on it.
Nice. Great shot from Hunter.
Just the way he was able to hold his shoulders on that backhand and wait until the absolute last moment. That's a key to changing your directions on the two-handed backhand.
Point. I didn't see clear enough. You see? Point. Referee timeout. We have a challenge of the in ruling. No. Yeah. Tie it. 3-6.
Wow. Hunter Johnson has Staksrud on the run for the side out. Great point, start to finish. Heavy
6-3.
to the backhand corner. Fed ran around it. That's the golden corner for Hunter Johnson.
Point.
Coming up next, we've got Catherine Parento, the 2 seed, taking on Jessie Irvin. Some women's singles. Can't wait for that. That's deep for Johnson. We'll have to settle for just a point.
That women's singles match will be fun. Always good to see Jessie Irvin on the singles court.
Mixed doubles champion from last weekend with Gabe Tardio.
Quite a run. It was amazing, just the matches they played. She played so well in that final on the right side.
That was a fun one. All the way through, a lot of upsets in the draw.
4-7.
Wow, what mobility from Hunter Johnson. Federico had the advantage that point.
Just that running forehand, and just I like how controlled he was, even though he was on the run. He wasn't out of control when he made contact with the ball.
7-4. Line out.
Staksrud certainly having his chances to cut into this lead. Hasn't fully taken advantage of it yet.
4-7. Line out. 7-4. Hold it.
Hunter Johnson 3 points away from taking the match, and a missed serve there. We'll also see the other Johnson in action later on today in mixed doubles. Yates Johnson will be taking on Ben Johns and Annalie Waters. Yates is playing with Jeannie Bouchard, so can't wait to cover that match as well. That'll be our 5th match on center. Great point by Staksrud, commanding the kitchen, as he does so well. 3 points away from tying it.
You have to think if Staksrud is going to make a move in this match, it's going to come right around now.
Ooh, just barely missed a knifing reset. Hunter Johnson can't get out of his own way on that point.
Certainly knows how big of a win this would be. This has been a long game, 2 points of
To
nothing.
avoid the upset.
Time in. 6-8.
Oh, wow. Hunter had it.
He's got to put that one out of his head. That's one that can haunt you.
Yeah, it's a sitter. Oh my, another one into the net for Hunter Johnson. Tie game. Staksrud marched back in a 4-point hole.
Hey. Point.
Another miss for Hunter Johnson. It's clear that something has gotten into his head midway through this game too. He had it in reach, and Staksrud also fording his way.
Point.
And just how quickly the tide can change in
Yes.
singles, especially when it's just you out there on the court.
Time in. Game point. 10-8.
Heavy ball from Fed on game point to take it 11-8, and Hunter Johnson knows that was a monstrous opportunity to get one match off of the world's #1. Now it feels like all the momentum's on the side of Federico Staksrud. We'll be right back to break down game number 3 from Vegas. That would have made headlines this weekend. Now game 3 begins on his paddle. Spicy start for Hunter, but just a bit wide on the groundy.
I think if you're Hunter Johnson, you just have to remember it's 0-0, right? You can't play like you're down 0-5, even though you may feel that way, momentum-wise. Or I guess it's 0-1 now.
1-0. Point.
That's deep for Hunter. Hot start for Staksrud. This is not the way you wanted to come out of the gate if you are Johnson.
2-0.
Let core break
Time out.
for Hunter Johnson in the side out.
I didn't see.
Just 3 backhands in a row ripped by Hunter Johnson. See if that gives him some momentum.
Time out. Point.
Add another to the column of Staksrud here in game 3.
There just seems to be a little something extra behind the shots from Staksrud right now.
Point.
Just really pumping himself up, and there's no reason why Johnson
Time in.
can't have a similar
5-0.
comeback effort of his own.
And another one for Staksrud in going off here in game 3. And we will change ends at 6. So, kudos to Fed Staksrud. You feel for Hunter Johnson.
6-0. Point.
Seven 0 now, Federico Staksrud.
Side out.
That's pretty there from Hunter Johnson.
0-7.
Could give him some momentum.
Side out. Side out.
There's a little light from Hunter Johnson.
Side out.
Paris Stott and Hunter Johnson will be playing later today against Maggie Brasha and Tyson McGuffin.
That is a high caliber mixed doubles matchup, especially this early in the tournament.
8-0.
Just the depth of the draws keeps on getting just so impressive.
Timeout called for Hunter, who throws
When you're trying to adjust.
Pickle point for Federico Staksrud, match point as well.
10-0. Point, game match.
And that's the way game 3 will conclude, 11-0, after Federico Staksrud was 3 points away from being eliminated in game 2. Just a wild series of events, Will.
Just so impressed from the top seed, just his fight, resilience. We've seen it all year long, and we see it again here on Humana Championship Court.
We're going to step aside for just a moment. When we return, we will grab Federico Staksrud for an interview to see how he did not give up in that game number 2.